Hiya, I hope you're keeping well. Today I'm going to show you this really quite polished makeup look with different tips and techniques on where to put your shadow, which liners to use. So it's a real kind of technique one today. I hope you enjoy. Just a reminder that everything that I've used in this video is listed in the caption, so if you expand to full screen, the title will come up at the top, click the arrow next to it and a full list of everything I've used will drop down. Now I'm starting with my base and my brows done. I'd basically started doing a video and it's really dark, and by the time I thought to put the ring light on I was already halfway there, so I'm just gonna focus on eyes today and I'll come back and show you these in another video. Just to tell you, I'm wearing the state of it arrived smashed. This L'Oreal Infallible foundation is brilliant. It's the one that's viral on TikTok. I used it in a video the other day. Really affordable, it's completely full coverage, it's matte, velvety, fab. And then I've also got on, when I bought that, everything on L'Oreal was on 3 for 2. So I just bought a bronze and blush to try them out and they're lovely. If you're looking for a few new things for a kind of high street price point, would really recommend them. I've been wearing them a lot over the last few days. Now, one of the things I'm going to do today, I always write down any questions and things I get, and I've tried to merge as many of them as possible into this video. So it was, Lisa, you asked me for a primer that wasn't dry or cakey. I think you'll really like the peaches one. Let me just get a little brush to put it on. You can use your finger or a brush, but basically it's almost like a gel kind of texture, and it's almost like a wet look when you first put it on, and it will just kind of dry down into a near enough translucent finish. It's not 100% translucent, but by the time you've got your shadows over it, you're not going to notice the colour of it. So if you're looking at it thinking you've got a warmer complexion and it's quite a fair colour, it will kind of soften when you get it onto the skin. But if you were looking to kind of prime your eyelids with it and didn't want any further colour, just use it in the areas where you're using your shadow and avoid anywhere that you're not. But the first thing I'm going to do for this eye look is my eyeliner, because I want to kind of pull at the lid to get right up into that tight line. And if I'd done my eyeshadow there and pulled that lid, I would have ruined the eyeshadow. So I'm just going to put my liner on. I've gone for Sphinx from Peaches, which is a kind of coppery brown. So I've got all of that definition, but it's not too harsh. And another reason why I love using that kind of coppery brown rather than a black is that just gives your eyes an extra little bit of pop, and copper will work to bring out every eye colour, whether it's blue, hazel, green, brown. So always a nice step. Now, MT, you had asked me to use Jamie's Vive palette and I haven't used it in ages. What I'm going to do today is essentially take some lighter colours on the lid, a softer mid colour through the socket and a deeper colour in the outer corners to deepen. Now you can replicate this with any light, medium, dark, or even just 3 different colours that you have in your collection. So feel free to take these tips and apply them to whatever you've already got at home. Now I'm going to start with the shade Glimmer, and I'm going to take this all over the lid, right the way up to the natural crease in my eye. Now I'm taking the excess just in the palm of my hand there, and I'm going to use this lighter shade just on the inner corners of the eyes and underneath the brow bone to add a little glimmer of lift. Okay, now I'm going in with Amy Connolly's The Taperer brush into the shade Buff, and I'm going to take this soft colour, see where the crease is of my eye. I'm almost going a bit above. Now, Lizzie, you'd asked me for some tips on how to make your eyes look bigger. And this, what I'm doing now, is one of my favourite ways to do that. If you want to kind of lift and brighten the eyes, just ignore where the natural lines are and go slightly above them. And you can put that shape and definition in wherever you want it, rather than where it is. I was on like a crafty Zoom the other day and they were saying that creatives tend to love odd numbers. and slightly more organised people love even numbers, and I love even numbers. And they were saying, like, you need to think in this odd number kind of way to get the creativity going. And I was saying, this is literally the last thing you should be asking me to do. Absolutely hate it. But it's almost that even number thing that makes you want to follow the lines exactly where they are. Whereas if you were to just ignore them and put the colour where you would like it to be, that's when you're going to be able, I'm going in with a little touch of Delicious, by the way, to give, see how you can see it more on that side. I've put the smokiness above that crease. Like, by right, it should be down here, but I've gone, no, I'm gonna make it look like the crease is higher up. This is the way to cheat it, Lizzie. Now I'm taking a smaller detail brush. All of these pink and white brushes are from Doll Beauty. They've just brought out these new eyeshadow brushes. They're lovely. They're really great shapes, actually, to do all the guesswork for you. And I'm going to take that brown just underneath, kind of, I would say like half of the way through that lower lash line. And now, because that's nice and small, I'm going to trace some of the top lashes and just gently kick that out at the edge. I hope I'm not covering what I'm doing with this palette. No, you can see me. Brilliant. Now, as you can see, I've really winged out that liner. I'm going to soften that a little bit, and I'm going to take the same Delicious shade. Am I actually? I do quite like it winged out like this. No, I'm going to soften it. I'm going to take Delicious and follow the outer edge of that wing and take it, as my friend Kate would say, around the corner. Now for now, I'm just putting the shadow on, and I'm going to blend it in a moment. Okay, you can see where that's going to start to take shape. I'm going to take a small blending brush and soften the edge of that Delicious to go into the softer brown. And you'll notice I'm going from the outside in, not back and forth, because I want the outside to be densely packed with pigment, going into a really soft inner shape. Now, that could do with softening out again. So I'm going to go back in with the brush that I took the mid shape in with, really gently buff some of that soft brown over the top of this, so that you get this lovely gradient of like a halo effect of the softer brown in that deeper brown. And then I'm going to go in with just a touch of black on this little brush. I'm going to make sure actually that that is really densely packed onto my hand so that there's no drop down. And I'm going to use this just to deepen that very outer corner. Now, what I've just shown you is a really classic old school Peaches makeup technique where all of your colours go from darker to lighter to softer until you get this lovely blend. Now, Amy, you'd asked me for some gel eyeliner tips, and what I would say is I always see people recommending for gel eyeliner a slanted brush like that. I think slanted brushes are brilliant for lips, eyebrows, but personally, and everyone's different, I find that too difficult to do a gel eyeliner with, and I like to just do it with a small eyeshadow brush. So what I would say is get some on your hand ready. I go really gently with that little eyeshadow brush. And then you might not necessarily want to take it all the way in, just see how you go. But you want to kind of pack the brush with product so that you can lie it flat against those lashes. And I would also say that gels are brilliant if you're starting to notice that eyeliner spills on you and seeps into every little line. that is when you're going to love a gel, because gel just sits where you tell it, whereas liquids run everywhere. So if you're sick of not having control of your eyeliner, that's when it's a really good opportunity to go for a gel. And then if you wanted to, you've then got the option to go in with your tiny little liquid and almost deepen and tidy that gel. And then I'm just going to make sure that it's taken right the way to the end of the eye. But the nice thing about that little pocket of black shadow in the outer corners is that it just dissolves into the rest of the makeup. So you're left with this really seamless eye look. Now, to speed things up a bit, I'm going to go in with my mascara. I'm using my It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara today because I'm not going to put lashes on. And this mascara, I think, is the closest thing to the lovely like volume and depth that you would have if you were wearing lashes. This is a really quick, simple mascara technique and it makes such a difference. Pull the inner lashes inwards towards the nose so they're on a bit of a slant. And then take your outer lashes out towards the hair so that they're on a bit of a slant. And what you're left with is this lovely fan of lashes from the inner corner right the way outwards, and it looks really volumized. And then let's just finish off. I'm going in with Peach's liner in Feline and matte lipstick in Kinda Sexy. And then I love that, but I'm just thinking I look a bit washed out. I think it is the ring light, to be honest. But just to add a little pop of colour, I'm going to take that L'Oreal Peachy blush and press it on rather than rub it in. A bit of that blush and even take a tiny bit down the nose. That might be a bit too much. I'm just going to soften it with the excess of my foundation. But it's just livened everything up a little bit, hasn't it? Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed and I'll chat to you again very soon.